Tom that they need to be fighting for the undisputed title. It's the White House, it's special, Tom is out, let's get PEREIRA versus Surreal and let's do it for the belt. Well, I think we're close on that. I just think it's the interim belt. And there was some discussion going around that Tom had been asked to vacate the title. The way the story goes is that the UFC asked Tom, vacate the title. You do it, it's a PR thing, right? I mean, it's our belt, we take it back whenever we want, but that's not what we want to do.
Look, the clock is ticking on Alex Pereira's reign at light heavyweight. Everyone's talking about this wild gamble, this potential jump to heavyweight. You can practically see Dana White's eyes lighting up thinking about Poatan in some massive White House super fight chasing undisputed glory. It would be absolutely historic. But then there's Tom Aspinall, and he's got his own game plan. The guy flat out refuses to just hand over his interim belt, and this goes way beyond some shiny piece of hardware. We're talking about control, about legacy, about who really runs things in the UFC. Aspinall's resistance isn't just being stubborn, it's a calculated move designed to either cement him as the undisputed king or accidentally expose Pereira's risky heavyweight gamble. Trust me, there's nothing straightforward about this battle happening outside the Octagon. The stakes in this brutal sport are always sky high.
I'll vacate if you release me. I like your idea, I hear everything you're saying. We can have a discussion about re-signing and coming back in and getting my belt, but it'll keep my options open. If you want me to do this, here's what I want. Now, first off, that doesn't seem like something Tom would say, but this is the way the story goes. And if Tom did say that, respect, because he's standing up for himself. And Tom has the right to stand up for himself, because people do have a very short-term memory on how Tom got to where Tom got. I think they forget that he tore his knee against Curtis Blades.
Why would Aspinall just give up his hard-fought belt so Alex Pereira can chase Dana White's super fight dreams? Because that's absolutely ridiculous thinking. That interim title isn't just a placeholder. It's Aspinall's ultimate power play, his only real weapon against Dana White's chess moves and the UFC's grand schemes. Aspinall remembers the devastating cost of that injury that sidelined him. He's done playing games. This is high-stakes warfare where every move counts. And for Pereira, giving up his light heavyweight dominance means risking an established kingdom for what's basically a heavyweight lottery ticket. Nobody involved is dealing with easy decisions here. When the dust settles, who knows what's left standing?
The first. Got his confidence back, got his momentum back, started to build some steam. I mean, all the stuff he did, he's on a trajectory, he agrees to John Jones, he doesn't hold anybody up for money, he doesn't hold anybody up for time. I mean, he's doing anything that he can do. And frankly, he did everything right. He was a massive team player. He was a massive star. I think you might forget how he captured the interim title in the first place. I think that you might forget about the fight against Sergey Pavlich, where Tom was in England. They put this thing together so fast that Tom's wife couldn't even come and join him. And this is a moment, Madison Square Garden, this is a moment for the family, for the sacrifice of the family.
Right now, Pereira's push for that big heavyweight moment, especially targeting that White House card, looks like it's all about building his legend and filling Dana White's pockets. But here's the thing, Tom Aspinall's fight IQ is razor sharp, cutting through any narrative, making him the perfect wrench in what everyone expects to be a smooth Poatan story. Pereira's pressure isn't just about handling that brutal light heavyweight cut anymore. This has become pure psychological warfare, launched by an interim champion like Aspinall, who isn't just asking questions, he's demanding answers. Pereira needs to drop that title to move up, but Aspinall won't make it easy with his relentless pursuit. So what's this intense standoff going to do to Poatan Pereira's legendary status? That question hangs heavy in the air.
Interesting thing. Now, I know that Tom wants to box, and that's where you can overplay your hand. There is no boxing out there for Tom. There's no boxing out there for any of them. And boxing also is not what they think. It is not just this huge payday, and it's none of these things that they think that it is. And you do have those outlier stories. You do have a McGregor versus Mayweather, but McGregor versus Mayweather didn't happen because McGregor stood up to the UFC. McGregor versus Mayweather happened and was a success because the greatest carnival barker of all time.
Let me ask you something important. Do you really think Alex Poatan Pereira wants to walk away from that light heavyweight belt he fought tooth and nail to earn? Absolutely not. This isn't some simple choice for him. It's about the cold hard reality of being a champion caught up in Dana White's massive vision for the sport. That rumored heavyweight move, especially tied to a White House supercard, is the kind of massive gamble that doesn't just change careers, it rewrites legacies forever. And Aspinall won't just let him walk up without a vicious fight. All this talk about boxing throwing out challenges? That's just noise, pure distraction. He knows the real game better than anyone. His interim heavyweight strap has become a serious bargaining chip in this complex power struggle. Pereira's move up isn't just about changing weight classes. It's potentially about avoiding the psychological war Aspinall brings, the kind of relentless force who doesn't just want a title, he wants to break you down completely. So think about it carefully. Does Pereira gamble his light heavyweight dominance, chasing what might be a mirage, or is he walking straight into disaster?
We're willing to take a gamble on it. I mean, I'm only sharing for you. They're now partners with the UFC. That opportunity's not there. And I don't want to rain on Tom at all. I'm just sharing, if you can box and you can do MMA, it's the same commissions, it's the same process, just by example. And the opportunity would be in MMA. There is no world title opportunity in boxing. There's also no big paycheck in boxing. This is fiction. But Tom would have those options open, and if that's important to him.
Pereira's camp knows the brutal truth. This light heavyweight cut he's been making is destroying him, grinding him down. Giving up his light heavyweight crown for a heavyweight leap, especially for a White House mega event payday, that's more than a career move. It's a strategic retreat from the grind, a smart gamble to escape an incredibly dangerous threat in his current division. But here's what the UFC executives can't ignore. You can't just abandon a division cleanly, especially not with Tom Aspinall breathing down your neck. Tom isn't just another name in the rankings. He's a legitimate nightmare matchup for practically everyone. He's such a massive threat, so undeniable that even Dana White, with all his promotional genius, can't just brush him aside. Tom knows his leverage. The raw power this situation gives him makes Pereira's exit strategy anything but smooth. Do you really think Pereira wants to face Aspinall's explosive power and relentless pace after already putting his body through hell to make 2005? This goes beyond chasing titles. It's about preserving legacy, having the tactical intelligence to avoid a potentially career-ending loss, and recognizing who really holds the power in this unforgiving sport.
Something that it'd be a little out of line for the way that Tom would normally operate. So keep that thought and do what you would like with it. But now let's take a look at Alex Pereira, because if Pereira is going to go to if he is going to go to heavyweight, then he needs to be a heavyweight. I don't think that Pereira would disagree with me. I don't think that Pereira would have any problem giving the 205-pound.
Listen carefully to all the whispers and direct talk about Alex Pereira dropping his light heavyweight crown to jump to heavyweight. That move is less about opportunity and more about cold calculation. And let's be crystal clear, Tom Aspinall isn't just sitting around waiting for his moment. Hell no, he's applying brutal psychological pressure, publicly demanding his shot at the undisputed crown, basically forcing Pereira's hand. This isn't primarily about those grueling weight cuts anymore, though that's definitely part of it. This represents a massive clash between Dana White's grand vision, the allure of a White House spectacular, and the unstoppable pay-per-view machine. Pereira's legendary fight intelligence in this situation is telling him to abandon his light heavyweight legacy, the one he built with such violence, all for the chance at a massive heavyweight score. Now, what does that really tell you about a champion's resolve? It reveals everything about the crushing pressure of holding a title, the enormous weight that comes with greatness.
Working with the company, he goes into business for himself, he gives the belt back. This wasn't greatly perceived, but it's John, and there's a little room here. And then he sat for 3 years. For 3 years, he stayed out trying to gain the size to be heavyweight. Very humble thing for John to do, because frankly, John could have stepped in and won that heavyweight belt with no time off, but I'm just telling the story the way that it happened. So if Pierre is to do the exact same thing, I'm the light heavyweight champ. I want to pursue the heavyweight championship. Hey, by the way, I don't need any time. Let's go. I can fight light heavyweight on this date, or I can fight heavyweight. Either way, let's go. Gangster move. Very in line with what Alex Pereira does.
When we talk about Alex Pereira potentially dropping his light heavyweight title to move up to heavyweight, you might think, wow, what a fearless move, what a warrior champion. But I'm telling you that Tom Aspinall is making this shift from a confident statement into a nightmare scenario. The pressure on Poatan to protect his current throne isn't just enormous. With a legitimate stylistic nightmare in his own division, you have to wonder if he's trying to avoid that specific test. Everyone knows Dana White loves the big shows and massive profits. But imagine a champion abandoning his weight class just as Aspinall, a real contender, is so publicly calling him out. That creates serious political pressure, a narrative nightmare for the UFC to handle. So is Pereira's celebrated fight intelligence actually running from that dangerous matchup with Aspinall? You have to ask yourself honestly, what's the real cost of chasing that other belt, that ultimate ambition, when the one he holds now stays undefended? It's a question that cuts to the core of what being a champion really means.
I don't think that we're looking at it quite right. I don't think it's bad if they fight for the interim championship at all. At all. I think that's great. I do think if PEREIRA and Ciryl fight, there's got to be a belt. It needs to be scheduled for a potential 5-round. PEREIRA is the champion of the world. If the champion of the world fights, a championship of the world's got to be on the line. That can be the interim. But as opposed to the idea that, hey, it's got to be Tom's belt. Nothing personal, Tom. We got to move on, and it's got to be for the undisputed championship. No, I don't agree with that. But I would agree that of that scenario, the one that does have to be stripped or to vacate the belt would be PEREIRA. And I don't think that PEREIRA would disagree.
Let's confront the harsh, uncomfortable reality now. Alex Pereira's light heavyweight run is rapidly becoming a countdown, and that notoriously brutal weight cut is going to destroy him eventually. You can see the toll it takes written all over his face and body. So dropping that title is much more than just giving in to Tom Aspinall's growing claim as the rightful heavyweight challenger. No, this represents a calculated strategic retreat, a repositioning for a much bigger war. We're talking about an all-out heavyweight battle. Dana White through all this isn't just looking at basic title defenses. He's smelling the sweet aroma of a legacy-defining White House mega event. The real psychological battle happening is whether Pereira can escape the light heavyweight division without looking like he's running from a fight, especially since Aspinall's team is already doing excellent work spreading that narrative. That heavyweight move's unspoken but very real motivation isn't just about facing new challenges. It's escaping the soul-crushing reality of a weight class he barely fits into, while trying to cement his legend as a genuine two-division champion. This is exactly where championship pressure either destroys a fighter completely or forges them into an unstoppable legend through elite competition.
I care in the least. Let those guys get on with it. If it doesn't work out at heavyweight and I want to go back here, I'll come in, and whoever's champion, I'll see you. I mean, in the words of Israel Adesanya,
how do you handle that monster? Here's Aspinall, that ruthless absolute determination clear in every word, driven by the simple brutal fact that his body is practically forcing him toward the heavyweight division, toward that massive White House dream and the possibility of total domination. But Aspinall is becoming the beast Israel Adesanya famously warned about, and seemingly immovable force standing directly in Poatin's path. This isn't just some casual career change. This represents a desperate high-stakes bet on his legacy, heavily influenced, if not outright forced, by the UFC machine itself. Pereira will definitely fight giants eventually, but only after his own body has already fought and won half the battle just getting to the cage. And that sadly leaves him vulnerable when everything's finished. So I'm asking you tell me, what exactly are we witnessing right now? Beyond the glamour of championships and hype storylines, we're watching the brutal, relentless mathematics of ultimate dominance play out in real time. Tom Aspinall isn't just fighting for a title, he's forcing the entire heavyweight landscape and even the UFC itself to bend to his iron will. His very presence alone creates psychological warfare, constantly pushing a legend like Pereira toward making painful, life-changing choices, ultimately exposing the thin, almost invisible line between a fighter's legacy, their burning ambition, and the cruel, unchanging reality of their physical limitations. This isn't just about whose punches hit harder, it's about having the fight intelligence to navigate your own brutal truth. It's about knowing exactly when to make a tactical retreat, when to bet everything on one roll of the dice, and when you absolutely must face the beast head on. Dana White might control the outcomes, but fighters like Aspinall, they are the storm, the unstoppable force of nature that changes everything in its path. And that, friends, is the invaluable lesson we take from this unfolding drama. In life, just like in fighting, there will always be an Aspinall demanding your absolute best, exposing your flaws, and forcing your next move. The crucial question then becomes this: will you crumble under that massive pressure, or will you embrace it, harness its power, and become something greater?